Okay, let's do this in order. The first thing that happens to my lovely virginal pure guitar signal is it goes into the polytune. Here, this is a polytune mini, which is telling me several of my strings are slightly flat. One, well, I'm sure your readers have seen a polytune before. This is the small version. And this pedalboard is designed to go in my suitcase. It's for fly gigs. It's for things like the Aristocrats tour, where essentially we're playing music with no singing. So it's music that not many people like, so we need to be able to travel light. So if I can get a complete life support kit into a suitcase, I'm happy. And this fits that bill. So we start with the mini tuner there, and then, probably hard to see from the way it's all wired up, but the next port of call is the Sir Cocoa Boost, which is actually a three-purpose pedal. It does a clean boost, which will take me from to, and then the other function is the mid boost, which adds on top of that clean boost a kind of special honking frequency, and you can choose which. I like this position all the way to the left. So that's really good for overdriven but not ridiculously overdriven amp settings. So I could maybe go from so we like the Cocoa Boost, but I was being a tease there and I said it was a 3-function pedal. The one you can't see is that it's a buffer. So if you're going to run your signal through lots of other pedals, that kind of gives you strength to do so. So your signal ends up resembling what you put in by the time it comes out at the other end of the pedal board. So Cocoa Boost, everyone needs one. Moving swiftly on, this here is the Wah Rocker 5 from Guitarist. I was a happy user of the Wah Rocker 3 for many years, and then some Romans stole it from me a year or two back. So this is the more up-to-date version, and it just goes quack. Here we are without the quack. And if we add quack, so the way I generally set this is so it quacks up to this point when I'm on a single coil setting. And then if I want the same kind of effect but for single note stuff, I can go to the bridge pickup, which is louder. So there you go. It's small, it sounds like a duck, what's not to like? Over here we have the anodyne chorus. Don't be alarmed, folks, if you buy a Providence and an anodyne chorus, it does have knobs. This one has had a long and hard life on my pedal board. So the things I like about this, it's completely analog and old school on the inside, and it has this deep switch which makes sure that all of the low end still comes through even when you're going for the shimmery stuff. So both of the knobs kind of go up to 11. Sometimes it's nice to go for, well, not for that, that's terrible. About here, maybe. And I can pretend I have a Leslie when clearly I do not. And then we have one of the newest additions to this board. This is from the good people at Exotic Pedals, and it's an SL drive, which means it's meant to make you sound more like you have a Marshall Super Lead. So here we are with just with no effect going on. I add this thing. And this made it onto my board because there's one song in the Aristocrat set which requires a completely different overdriven tone. Generally I have a Sir Badger with the mid cranked, and then I have the Cocoa Boost with more mid cranked, and it's a very honky, nasal kind of overdrive, which I normally like. But we have one metal song, and I need something a little more scooped, so a little more. And that's the pedal which seems to do it. Also, it takes up virtually no space, and I love that for logistical reasons I described earlier. Then we go into this, the Jerry Cantrell signature wah. Has a funny thing on the side, and the idea of this is that you can control how trebly it goes before the pedal hits the bass. There. So if I want something subtle, and if I want to open up more, I'll roll this around, and it's like the mouth opens a little further. So in standard car chase mode, but also when you pile on the overdrive, it's quite a... It's reassuringly meaty and thick sounding. So then the final port of call is this volume pedal. It might not be traditional to put the volume pedal at the end of the chain, but I like to do so because then it's kind of a noise gate. And any mark and filth that I can kind of subdue to some extent. Because all the noise from each of these pedals is being reduced when I back this down. Also, it's become a fairly big part of the way I play now. I get upset when I can't have a volume pedal. Partly for the... Partially when you want to hide the attack of the note, but also... I can kind of go between pseudo-clean and screaming without having to remove my picking hand from around here, which is where it really wants to be. So that's everything that goes into the front of the amp, and then in the loop, this is constantly changing, but the one constant is the flashback. Again, I'm sure your readers are no strangers to the idea of what the flashback can do. It's a tiny little pedal that has many, many delays built into it. This one, I think, is the EP something tone print. But it can do all sorts of different things. It can give me the... If I get bored with that, I could try, for instance, fake reverse stuff. I'm impressed that they get so much into a little box. But then you look at this and you think, hang on, the flashback's not that little after all, is it? This is a very, very new thing from TC, and they've shrunk it so much that they had to make the logo illegibly tiny and abbreviate the name of the pedal. This is the Hall of Fame Mini. It's a reverb pedal, and let's just make sure there's nothing going on the amp. So that's a standard Hall preset there. The thing you can't see about that pedal is their tone print app works. So people with iPhones can kind of beam a short digital signal into the pickup, and the pedal says, oh, you want me to change to a spring reverb or canyon reverb or whichever thing your iPhone told it to do. So despite the fact there's only one knob, it actually does pretty much what it's told. And finally, this is something I don't really use when I'm gigging, but it's very helpful when I'm doing clinics and stuff like that. The Ditto, it's just a looper. So I might want to... know, what else could we add in there? And now, well, I'm telling somebody what the minor pentatonic scale is. I've got something in the background, so there's melodic content, harmonic content. Then I can stop it when I get bored. 3, 4, and it's back. So hours of fun there. We like the ditto pedal. Again, it's that TC trick of having something that's this big and has one knob on it, but actually it does everything you need it to do. And sadly, this means I've now told you about everything on my pedal board. I have no choice but to stop at this point. So there you go.